Please be seated. Good evening, brothers and sisters. How are you today? Good, huh? All ready, right? Okay, we finally finished the first chapter. Now on to second chapter. Some of you asked me on page 5 the Sanskrit or Pali term for Atona. Yeah, it's Ardana. Yeah, Ardana. Yeah. So, previously there was also the question, so what is the name? So for the Buddha, this alaya consciousness, yeah, does it stay as it is? Yeah, does it stay as it is? So as far as the alaya consciousness is concerned, in the last section that we went through, there were 3 stages. Yeah, 3 stages of the alaya consciousness. The first one is where it is the embodiment of attachment. Yeah, as an aspect of it is. What happened to the? Where is that? Where is the 3? What happened? Bowling. No, there was one page that I wrote down the 3 things. Huh? Is it inside? Maybe you help me take a look. So there were. Yes, you are right. She know my notes better. So please. Yeah, sometimes it happens. Yeah. So the name itself, the first phase is where the alaya consciousness is an aspect of it. Yeah, is the focus of attachment. Yeah. And it is, in a way, because of that, then there's attachment, so-called attachment to the I, the self, and so on. Yeah. So this is the first. Yeah. This is one phase, if you will. And we went through about how that is from beginningless time. Yeah, from beginningless time. Now, this teaching on beginningless is not unique to Mahayana. It's not unique to this school. Is found in various sutra. Okay, this is one very major point of difference between Buddhism and other school of thoughts. Yeah, most religion have a beginning, and it is the point of creation. When I say point of creation, I don't mean Christianity. I mean almost all religion. Almost all religion have an so-called answer, yeah, or have a stand. Yeah, that they say, where did all this come from? Oh, there was this point in time, yeah, or there was a moment where the Supreme Being created the world. In Buddhism, the Buddha don't say, there was one point in time, I, Sakyamuni Buddha, created the world. Yeah, there's no such a statement. Okay. But instead, he shares his finding that as he observed into his life, his past life, he observed that there's always a previous state. Yeah. Now, and one important thing is, how did he arrive at that statement? Yeah, he didn't say, hey, I must write a thesis, I must do a PhD. And so let me come out with an amazing theory that nobody has thought of. That will throw you off course. But he started off looking into the root, the origin of where suffering comes from. Yeah, this is how the dependent origination, the 12 links, come about. Yeah, today we're not going into detail, just highlighting this about how when he looked into this, then he saw that birth itself has a previous state. Yeah, it's because there was a prior becoming, process of coming into being. And that in turn has its own supporting conditions going back all the way to its birth. And then from that birth, again, there's a prior state. And so as you go backwards, there was no end to it. Yeah? There was simply no end. And he observed... wait. Yeah. And establishing first principles. Yeah. It's first principles. So this is the first principle teaching. Yeah. We can have another session on Wednesday where we can throw up all those questions. Okay. So as far as this part, hang on. So this teaching on beginningless come about because of that. His observation. And then he observed others. Yeah, there's basically no beginning as well. And the various texts mention about how he went not just a few thousand years, not just a few million years, aeons, kalpas, yeah, many kalpas, yeah. So there's always this question. No, I don't have that question. Yeah. So, yeah, sure. Yep. So I'm sure there are some of you who I don't ask you all to raise your hand in case only Wilson is the only one who raised the hand. But even for those who have this question, what if there's one more kalpa beyond, and then you find that sitting behind everything is actually Sifu. Putting everything into place, or maybe just some being, or maybe E.T. is there. Okay, who knows? So we can refer to his reply using the parable of the poison arrow. That if you get shot by someone with a poison arrow, the most immediate thing to do is to remove the poison arrow such that you don't die, and then get treated. Once you have been treated, the context is that the silly man, the foolish man, after being shot with a poison arrow, refused treatment. And what did he ask instead? He asked, who shot the arrow? From where did he shoot? Why did he shoot me? What kind of quiver did he use? What kind of arrow? What is... all these questions, which are probably important and interesting, but you would have died long before you even can find any clue at all. So far, he tells us that he has gone for as long as he think it's reasonable. I mean, I think it's reasonable to say that as far as we are concerned, it's beginningless for now. Yeah, and that should suffice. Perhaps, is there a possibility? You cannot prove or unprove infinity. Yeah, in a way, because you can always say that there could be one more. Then there's no end to it. Yeah, so that approach is fruitless. Yeah, to try to find that before you solve the suffering problem is fruitless, because you can always say, but what if this one, how about this one? So instead, it is to look at the principle. It is just like when you learn about, for example, let me illustrate why that is fruitless, and a different approach should be done, okay? And this is something that I've been highlighting. Very quickly, tell me the answer. Okay, Wilson says 2. How about the rest? 2. Yes, the answer is 2. Okay? 3. Now, I can go on for quite a bit. But what if someone challenged you? Well, how about 1 plus 4? You don't know, but you must prove to me that 1 plus 4. How about 1024 plus 3768? You know? How about I can think of another number that you have to prove. Then there's no end to it. We don't learn arithmetic in this way. Correct? Yeah. As a kid, some kids will ask the teacher, how about this number? Oh, and the teacher says, no, that's not the point. The point is, what is the principle of arithmetic? What is this thing? So, must let me finish. So the principle is the important thing here. Yeah. So what he observed and then state is that there's this principle that as long as anything exists, so far he don't find anything that exists to have no cause. And since there must be a cause, that cause must precede that thing. And since that thing precedes this thing, then how about that thing? You know what I mean? For any item A, there are supporting conditions. Supporting conditions C1, C2, C3, C4. And each of them are by themselves also in dependence on other supporting condition. You see how this goes? Yeah. So instead of going, how about one more life? How about two more life? How about one aeon? You must understand that this is the defining principle that he observed. Yeah. That all things have some conditions required. Yeah. And so from his own observation for aeons, plus this principle, then it's only fair that we say, well, until proven otherwise, there is no beginning that he can observe. Yeah. It is irrelevant. It is irrelevant. It is irrelevant to go and pursue whether it is beginningless or beginning with a beginning or so on. What the Buddha observed is that there's no beginning. Yeah. Unless you are suggesting that there's one state where somehow that thing exists without a cause. For there to be a beginning, there must be something that exists without a cause. Yeah. So find me that one thing that exists without a cause. If it, yeah. So far we don't find anything that exists with a cause. Oh, without a cause. Yeah. We don't see anything that exists without a cause. Okay. So since beginningless time, this perpetual ignorance, okay, is present. So, as far as the eighth consciousness is concerned, one name that is given is 执障. Yeah. So, there's this aspect about it, yeah, where you can say that we call it a 阶位, yeah, a phase. Yeah, a phase of it. It's like as a human being, there's a phase where we crawl on our fours. Yeah, there's a phase where we can walk. There's a phase where we are in our mother's womb. Yeah, there are different phases. Yeah, so because of the different phases, we are given different name. Yeah, in a mother's womb, we are called an embryo. When we are at a certain age, we are called a child. Yeah, so likewise, these alaya consciousness have different names. But at the same time, even as you are a child, you are a human being also. Isn't it? Yeah. So, likewise, the alaya consciousness have different names tied to it. Okay? So the first category, 我爱执障现行位. Yeah. Where this phase, during this phase, there is the appearance, yeah, or manifestation, or the arising of attachment, yeah, attachment to the I, to the mind, to the me, yeah. This is the first phase. Okay, and this phase lasts all the way until you reach the point where you have removed attachment to the I. Kind of obvious, huh? Yeah. When you realize what it really means, it's kind of obvious. Yeah. As long as there's attachment, of course, then the alaya consciousness is within this phase. Yeah. But once you have reached a point where attachment to the self is removed, then this name, alaya consciousness, alaya the 名称, this alaya, this name is no longer there. So now, can people call you? Okay, I was going to say, can people say that you are a child? To your mother, you are still a child, but that's besides the point. Okay. To most people who is a stranger, they look at you, they don't say that you are a child anymore. Yeah. I know many of you may want to always say, I'm still 18 years old, but for all intents and purposes, you're no longer 18. Okay? Question? Yes. Yes. So, the first thing is, here, 我执, attachment to the self. One is the view, one is the attachment itself. Yeah. View is sakkayaditthi. Here, it refers to all the way even beyond that. There are different levels. Yeah. So this is beyond that part already. Yeah. Arahant remove the conceit underneath. Yeah. Arahant remove the conceit underneath. Yes. Sorry? I only mentioned sakkayaditthi. This one shouldn't be shouldn't be up to this. Alaya shi zhi zhang. Shouldn't be limited to that. The various one. Okay. Okay. So this is the first phase. Okay. So beyond that, then there's a second phase where the alaya consciousness also serve as the means for various manifestation of the various realms. Through our karma. Through our karma. But if you again transcend this phase, then this name itself is also removed. Here, the point here is that there are different phases, different aspects of the alaya consciousness that has limited duration. They all come from beginningless time. Beginningless time. But at some point, when you cultivate to a certain point, then that aspect of alaya consciousness cease to exist. Cease to exist, so to speak. Okay. Last week there was a question about whether the Buddha, what is the name of the Buddha or what is the name of the alaya consciousness when a person attained Buddhahood. There was this question. Are you all with me? Yeah. Okay. So last week we seem to have come to a conclusion that it's called Atono. Yes and no. Yes and no. Because Adana refers to the aspect of the alaya consciousness that is responsible for supporting our existence. When the alaya consciousness seed manifests into this fruit, okay, then what supports our existence? In Yogacara, we say that it's the alaya consciousness supporting. So when we are asleep, the first 6 consciousness are all dormant. Now, alaya consciousness continue to support. And not just our physical body. As far as alaya consciousness is concerned, even external things, table, chair, mountain, everything supported by alaya consciousness. Okay? So this is since beginningless time and all the way perpetually. This aspect of alaya consciousness is always there. So it's not so much that, when the person attained Buddhahood, then it become called Adana, Atono. It's not. It's that, yeah, correct. Yeah. So I just want to clarify this. Yes. Yes. In Yogacara, it's not just supporting the perception, yeah, but including its existence. Including its existence. Now, this can be quite a okay, but this is inside the Yogacara teaching. Yeah. So table, chair, everything is supported, including your iPhone. Yes, because all this in Yogacara is manifested from our seats. Yeah, from our seats. Now, from this itself would spring forth very interesting point of view or question. Yeah. For one, it may provide an answer to why different people using different things or using the same thing, somehow the person just touch, the thing spoil. Yeah. Of course, there's also butterfinger. Okay. But this part, how do you verify? This part, at this moment, you can't verify. I just want to get this out of the way. Yeah. This is one part that at our stage, our level of practice, we can't verify. Yeah. And for that matter, as far as cultivation is concerned, it is not for us, the aim of this part of the teaching is not to then suggest for us to go and tweak this, tweak that, or do this, do that. Yeah. But to have that awareness that, okay, if that is the case, what is the implication? If the whole world is a manifestation of our karma, yeah, then in the Yogacara school we say there's the individual karma, then there's the collective karma. Yeah. So things that are used collectively by everybody, yeah, perused by everybody, all of us support. Yeah, all of us is involved in supporting that thing. Yeah. So if it's a certain way, don't have to blame anyone. We are all involved. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. 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 Of those things. Yes. Correct. But for them, they can they have the beautiful nature that we have to use a lot of our karma to go and take a look. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Also our karma for whatever and many more things. Yeah. But we must be careful also. While over here it seems to just highlight and focus on the seeds. Okay? Yeah. We must know that in the Yogacara school, the seeds are very dynamic. Yeah. They are transient. They are very, very dynamic. Yeah. And even as we speak, the alaya consciousness is changing, has changed. Yeah. So it's not some storage house from 3,000 years ago and now you are just playing back. It's not some long time video that you are watching that you cannot control. Okay. Yeah. If you refer to it as an app, right? Yeah. It is not a video player. It is an interactive game. Whatever you do, yeah, is influenced by how you have played in the first 5 minutes of this round, yeah, and is determined by what you are doing now as well. Yeah, it is not a static playback. Yeah, in Buddhism, it's not a static playback. Okay, yeah. So want to clarify this. All right. So with this whole set in place, then we move on to the second chapter. Yes. Yeah. Huh? Yes. Yeah, it's called Guan Yin Tian. Yeah. Yeah. So in some of the texts, not just one but a few of the texts, it mentions about how this not just this world, but all the worlds go through cycles. And it is said that instead of jumping straight into we come from the heavenly states, let's just start from where we are. And then it says that there will come a point in time where there is this period called the Tao Jie. Yeah, that means the period of knives or swords, if you will. Yeah, swords should be jian, so Tao. And it says that Jie, era, yeah, a period of time. Yeah. So it says that at that point in time, there's a certain kind of reeds, yeah, like the lalang like that, except that it's thicker and it's stronger and it's as tall as a human being. And at that point in time, as we approach that time, it is said that human beings will somehow develop the ability to recall our past life. Yeah, and then the problem is, while we develop that, we never develop wisdom. So as we know about our past life, we hold on to the grudges. It's not cast in stone, so don't take it like, it's going to happen, So let me finish this part first. So it says that then eventually, when people recall more and more about their past life, they recall about how they have harmed each other before, and then the animosity and everything culminate to the point of Tao Jie, where they just grab the reeds and start slashing each other, killing each other. And as they die, they are born again. And then as they are born, they immediately remember who killed them and immediately grab one and go after the next person. Yeah, so hang on, it's getting somewhere. So during this period, there are those who do not somehow, as in all things, that Singapore still, a lot of people rush there, but not everybody rush there. So likewise, during this Tao Jie, a lot of people start killing each other, but not everybody do that. There are those who say, this is ridiculous. Let's run into the mountain. Yeah, Guan San mountain. Who knows? Yeah. So it is said that there are those who escape into the mountain and just hide. Yeah, until all the killing has stopped. Yeah, and then at that point in time, the human lifespan is like only, is it 5 years old or 10 years old? 10 years old, I think. Yeah, and then female maturity is 5 years old. That means 5 years old puberty, and then can have a family already. Yeah, but the average lifespan is only 10. Yeah, so yeah, the same as now. Yeah, then it says that after the killing has stopped, those who survive came out, and then they're like, you are alive too. Let's make a pact. Let's not kill each other. And then it says that because of the observance of non-killing, the lifespan increased by 100%, like increased to 20 years. Yeah, so their lifespan increased. When I first read about it, it was very spiritual. So I was like, wow, the merit of observing precepts. But then now when I read it, I'm like, common sense, right? You stop killing each other, of course you live longer. Like 5-year-old not strong enough to kill. Rich 10-year-olds start killing each other, so you die. Quite naturally, yeah, human lifespan will increase. Then it says, from there, the various precepts start coming in. Then they decide, okay, let's also not take what is not given. Yeah. Then because of that, I guess it really makes sense. You stop stealing each other's thing. You don't have to spend so much of your effort guarding against each other. Yeah. And then you can spend more time to accumulate more resources and help each other. Then of course your lifespan will all increase together. Yeah. Then after that is the abstaining from sexual misconduct, and again lesser problem, lesser wild sex, then you have lesser of the sexually transmitted problem. Yeah, so eventually it increase. Then it says that up to some point, the lifespan will just keep on doubling until a point where they say that they even unanimously observe 8 precepts. Yeah. And because of the observance of the 8 precepts, after they die, they don't get reborn in human realms. So they get reborn in the heavenly realms. Yeah? Not necessarily in the form world, but at least in the sensual desire realm. If they meditate, then they go even higher. So then the description goes on to say, at some point, when so many people have observed this, this is where a lot of people, you will be like, see, Sifu told you right. A lot of people ask me, Sifu, if all become Buddhists and all become monks and nuns, then human population will just die out. Yeah, in a way, this is what is described. It says that when they all observe 8 precepts, then all of them get reborn in the higher realms, and eventually no new ones get reborn in the lower realms also. Because when they start observing 8 precepts for a period of time, all those lower realms will not be filled up. Yeah. So then it says that starting from... Well, that's another question altogether, but it's typically not so easy to do transfer. So the description, let me just follow with the description first. So it says that, so the lower realms start to empty out. First from the hell, then the animals, then or the hungry ghosts and so on, up to left only human. Yeah. So the term 地狱不空誓不成佛, there's some basis that there are cycles where, yeah. So actually, I remember that in US when this part was mentioned, so some students asked my teacher, then they will say, 和尚慈悲阿弥陀佛, and then they will start asking, then they will say, so how about those who are born in hell, yeah, or pass away, but hell has already emptied out? So what happened to them? So my teacher did mention that if you are due for rebirth in some realm, but that realm don't exist in this current world, then you might be transferred out. So be transferred out to those world with the hell. Yeah. So the description is for the world where everybody is just out of the lower realms, up to the point where only human beings left. And at that point in time, all of them are like, wow, almost like perfect being, but not perfect yet, not enlightened yet, all practicing 8 precepts, but not enlightened yet. Yeah, that they will just keep going upwards. So when I was taught this, I was like, wow, the last few must be very stressed. So it becomes a virtuous cycle, Yeah, because like now the common trend is just take it easy, Yeah. So the impetus is against us to cultivate. But when you reach this cycle, the zhenjie, and then the impetus is to practice, And so at some point, all human beings will also be reborn in the higher realms, and some worlds may not necessarily go through this full cycle, okay? But in this description, it says that where all the human beings get reborn, then human world will disappear. So this is, when I read this, I was like, this is good news. So for Buddhists, when we watch all those end of the world, 2012, we shouldn't be fearful. We should okay, this is just an idea. Because in Buddhist teaching, human beings don't get destroyed by the world being destroyed. Because the world is manifested by us. So the world will only disappear when our human karma has been used up, so to speak. So it's a very, very different approach to looking at this world. Yeah. There's one parallel sutra inside the Digha Nikaya. Yeah. You go and search. 32 only. There are only 32, 33 suttas. You can go and search. Huh? Look through. Could be. Yeah. So you can go and look through. It's a very interesting description. Yeah. It's also found in the Mahayana Sutra and commentary. Yeah. So there are various sutras talking about this. Yeah. Some of these sutras talk only about part of the section. The other sutra talk about the whole thing. Now, I haven't finished it. So then eventually human realm disappear, right? But as it's disappearing, the heavenly beings, in the sense desire realm start to see this happening. So they are like, wow, the world disappearing. Well, we better don't just enjoy ourselves. They also start practicing. So they also start to be reborn in the higher realm. And as we are reborn there, everybody practicing, we also start practicing. So it becomes a virtuous cycle, and eventually human realm disappear, and then left the sensual desire heavenly realm. Then this also practice, and they get reborn in the form world. Yeah. And this also disappear. And as this is disappearing, those in the form world, first jhana, they observe, they also kanchong. So they also start to practice even more. And it becomes a so-called virtuous cycle up to the fourth jhana. Fourth jhana is not touched. So eventually all get reborn in the fourth jhana. Yeah. So far so good, right? And then at that stage, very long life. La la la. No singing and dancing. Fourth jhana, no singing, just no singing and dancing. Okay. But in Buddhism, this is not eternal, because being reborn there is the result of your practice. Being reborn there is the result of your practice. It's not a given, and because it is the result of a limited time, limited effort. So it has limited result also. Although the result in the form world is much greater, but the result is still finite. Okay, number one. Number two, just now we mentioned that people practice, right? Through the practice, we get reborn in the higher realm. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that there's no more seeds in us. There may still be seeds in us for sensual desire. Yeah, it's just that when you practice, you put it aside. Yeah, you push it aside. You, in a way, suppress it. Yeah, which is why ultimately in Buddhism, the way to overcome all this must be true wisdom. So for those who are reborn in the higher realm, and this is true, whether or not you are in this cycle of virtuous, increasing cycle. Yeah, even if you're not in increasing cycle, if you're reborn in a higher realm, it is not perpetual also. So when you are reborn there, then there's a certain lifespan, right? And of course, if this is the form world, then our lifespan is like that. Yeah, this is our lifespan. This is form world. And actually, it's not like that. It's like that. Yeah, ours is just too minuscule compared to the lifespan of a form world. Yeah, it's like how many zero? Yeah, So just to put it into order, at some point, this comes to an end. So if a being is in that state and he don't do further practice, then at this point, the description is that those beings, those past karmic seeds, yeah, they would start to stir, and then they would ripen. It's kind of like when you meditate. Some days, wow, very good, meditate. Then you're like, wow, today I can meditate more. Then you just meditate. Yeah, then suddenly, after a while, your legs are also not painful. You're also not drowsy, but you start to feel utsu. You start to feel it's just a stirring in your heart. You just don't feel like sitting anymore. It's not exactly like that, but similar. This one is for aeons. So similar. And it said that then at this point, the stirring, the seeds of the slightly lower realm would manifest. Then the third jhana will appear. Third jhana will appear. Then they will live there again for a long time, and as they are there, there are beings from the fourth jhana who will again pass away there and then get reborn in the third jhana. Yeah? And in this way, third jhana, second jhana, first jhana, and one of them is Guan Tian. One of them is Guan Tian. And then from there, those beings in that world have the first stirring of mild sensual desire. Yeah? Just mild. Then they get reborn into as sentient beings. And the description is that in a way like curiosity, then it's observed, there's this place here. And then they come and observe this world, and then the description is that initially the surface is coated with like a layer of curd. Yeah. Curd. C-U-R-D. Yeah. So the description is that there's a layer of nutritious layer like curd. Yeah. One could there's a lot of question about what this curd is, yeah. But the description is like, it's nutritious, like the and the description is always with respect to India. Yeah, you will talk about like the milk curd, thick and creamy, and so on and so forth. So these beings come and then they start to smell it and then they taste it. This is pretty nice, They eat and eat and eat until. So initially, they give out like they are luminant. Then they eat until they lose their luminance. Yeah. So this is the description, okay? Don't ask me to prove it for you. That is beyond. Yeah, that's beyond me at this point in time. Okay. So there's such a description. Yeah. Okay. Magic mushroom. Yeah. So we have covered the first chapter, which is on the mind, heart. And by now you would sort of have an understanding that, it seems like the whole mind is basically just consciousness. The word consciousness in Chinese is shi. Yeah. The Pali term is vijnana. Sanskrit term is vijnana. We can only understand as much as what the translations tell us. Yeah. Is it a form of awareness or consciousness? What is it? Yeah. Is the description is multifold. It is simply the presence of our mental activity. Yeah. And in various ways, when the mental activity arises, then it's given a different name. Yeah. What is the basis for the different names? The basis for the different names is the function. Yeah. The function itself. What is it doing? Yeah. If it's to be aware, to know, to cognize, then we call that a certain name. Yeah. Such as consciousness. Yeah. And then if it is to be aware of visual things based on the eye, we call it the eye consciousness. Yeah. To be aware, to be conscious of audible things based on the ear, then we call it ear consciousness. Nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, bodily consciousness, including the mind consciousness. Yeah. In the aspect where you can discriminate based on the mind, then we call that the mind consciousness. Okay? Collectively, you can just call it consciousness, call it mind. To me, it's okay. If you are going for diploma course, you must give the precise word. Okay? Whether it's 6 consciousness, 7 consciousness. Oh, what is the 7 consciousness? Mana consciousness, the mind. So, if you are going for a course, you must give the exact, very categorical answer. Yeah, I'm not suggesting that is useless. Okay, I'm saying you must be able to use it. Yeah, so instead of getting all stressed up, this one, what is this? The name, and you must know why we are learning all this. All right. So we start off with the phrase, 如世尊言，一切法无我. Yeah, as the Tathagata, as the world-honored one, the Buddha, has said, all things, all phenomena, 一切法无我. Yeah, all phenomena has no self. Yeah, has no self-nature, so to speak. Yeah, from there, then it is broken down into 5 categories. Yeah, 5 categories. And the first category we have covered. Now on to the second category, 心所法. 心所法, the technical term is mental concomitant. Mental concomitant. In brief, it is basically what the mind latches onto. What is the subject, if you will? Yeah. What is the mind preoccupied with? Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, 心所名义. So first of all, again we go through what is the name and what is the meaning, of this second category. Yeah. So first of all, this is part of the mind. Yeah, 心所法 is still part of the mind, but it is what the mind faces. Yeah. For example, for all of us here, now what is in your mind should be Yogacara Bhumisasa, not Yogacara Bhumisasa, should be this sastra, this commentary. Yeah, but of course I say all, but maybe not all. Yeah. So why? Because there is this continuum. Maybe there are some matters that is on your mind. Yeah, from this afternoon. Or maybe from this morning, or it could be from last week. Yeah. So different things in our mind. Okay. So let's take a look. 心所法也称为心所有法. Yeah. So this is the opening statement. Mental concomitant. Yeah, is also named what? That which belongs to the mind. Yeah. That which belongs to the mind. The things that the mind owns, so to speak, latches onto. 心所有法. 具足以下3种意义而得名心所. Yeah, so there are 3 aspects about this category. Yeah, and because of these 3 aspects, then it's given this name. Yeah, that it belongs to the heart. Similarly, in the previous chapter, we look at the 8 aspects of consciousness and how each of them have different features, different functions, and how they get their name. Yeah, Yogacara, this school of thought, it is all about names. Yeah, by now you should be familiar. It's all about names. Yeah, remember one of the first few exercises I gave you all. I mentioned about this reflection to do. Go back and think about how the word water doesn't quenches your thirst. Yeah, Wilson doing this. Yeah, and then fire. The word fire doesn't burn your lips. Yeah, this is the heart of the cultivation. to recognize that everything is just names, just concepts, in other words. Yeah, names and words and concepts. Yeah, and all this there's no substance inside. Yeah, no substance. There's another level where later on when we look at, how about physical object? Later we will take a look. Because it says that even physical object, all this, just concepts. Okay, slowly. So, 恒意兴起. So, perpetually dependent on the heart to arise. Heng yi xing qi. So the mental concomitant, this category of things in our mind, they cannot arise by themselves. It is perpetually dependent on the mind to arise. If the mind don't arise, if the mind is not active, these mental concomitants cannot arise. They cannot arise independently, in other words. Yeah, so one is the mind, one is this thing. This category, xing suo. Whenever I say this thing, I'm referring to this. Xing suo. Mental concomitant. Okay, this is a category of mental processes, if you will. Yeah. There's a lot of things inside. So if I were to just use one word, I say thoughts, then it is also wrong, because there's a lot of things inside. The whole category. This is a second category. So this second category is given this name, mental concomitants. Yeah. Why? Because they always firstly co-arise with the mind. If the mind don't arise, they cannot arise. So it is as though it belongs to the mind. Understand? This first meaning. First meaning. Heng yi xing qi. That they are always dependent on the mind to arise. It is like, to give you an example, your shadow is your concomitant. Understand? Without you, there's... he's checking dictionary. Without you, there's no shadow. Right? Your shadow, if your shadow can exist by itself, scary. Imagine one day you are standing, waiting for the bus, and then the sun is very strong. Then you see your own shadow. Then you walk away. Then you turn around. Your shadow is still there. Then scary. Even scarier when it's daytime, because how can this happen? So 就是指兴亡. So the mind itself is considered like the king, okay, like the overall in charge. 兴亡若没有升起, if the mind itself has not arisen, 心所绝不能独立升起. The mental concomitants cannot arise by itself. 要以心王为一, 心所才能升起作用. Only when the mind itself has arisen and is active, then mental concomitant, okay, I can come out to do things. Okay? So this is the first reason why it's called, if I were to literally translate this word, then it is belonging to the heart, belonging to the mind. Those phenomena that is belonging to the mind, owned by the mind, so to speak. So this is the first reason why it's called owned by the mind. It's because without the mind, it cannot appear, cannot even appear. So it's as good as being owned by the mind. Understand? Second reason, 与性相应. So here, the word 相应. Not really, because for the Chinese, when we say sing, right, we usually translate as heart. Mind is yi. Yeah, English also. English also. Let me write it down. So we usually have sing, yi, shi. So we have the heart, the mind, and the consciousness. Yeah. So in English we also found the counterpart. And in Sanskrit Pali is chitta, mana, and vijnana. Yes. Yeah, but earlier already covered. Yeah, earlier already covered. How this itself, correct. Yes. So, the thing is, all these three, do not be confused that these three are different things. Yeah, they are referring to the same thing. And yet it's different thing. Yeah, yet it's the same thing. So for example, like now as I walk past and then suddenly I poke him. You can say that Sifu poke Wilson. But you can also say that this finger poke Wilson. You can also say that the skin is the one that touched him. But of course, if you bring in quantum physics, we never touch each other. Yeah, but that's another thing altogether. You know what I mean? So, at a certain level, usually when we talk to each other, and let's say now someone switch off the light, we will simply say, someone switch off the light. Yeah? And when that person say, I didn't switch off the light, then you say, no, I saw you switch off the light. Then that person will say, which I saw. Right? Yeah, then I say, this I saw this of your finger. Of course, when we say this, we don't really mean that, but in a way we mean it. We are really trying to point out, you sure or not? Yeah? Yeah, it's not your ear that see, it's the eye. Yeah, so for that purpose, it's useful, to delineate. But it's still referring to that collective. Also, in the same way, Xing Yi Shi actually refers to the same thing, one thing. But you may then ask, then what for delineate? As I mentioned, for certain function, to understand better, to be more specific. And further, to be specific so that we can cultivate. Because although it is one collective, but yet it's an aggregate of a lot of different, slightly varying things. Because the function of the eye consciousness is different from the function of the mind. So, as far as our defilements is concerned, okay, I'm kind of skipping ahead because to give you all some context, and because Yogacara, you can go for very long, scaffolding a lot, but don't know how to use them. So I'm sort of skipping ahead to give you some clue. I've mentioned before, but I'm going to give you another example. So for example, when you encounter something that gets you upset, can be at home, can be at work, can be out at sing song or something. And then when you encounter something, our usual, a common response is, that person did something. And we may sometimes agree that, it's because of my preference. Then there's a certain level of awareness. But for some others, they may just simply conclude that it's because of that person. That person did that, so I get angry. that is just taking ourselves as one chunk and that person as one chunk, and our problem as one chunk due to that chunk. Yeah, simplistic view. But because of this simplistic view, then it causes us to act in a certain way. Yeah? Because that chunk caused the frustration to arise, so deal with that chunk. But then the Buddha come in and say, no, take a closer look. It's not one chunk and that chunk. There's a lot of aspects, a lot of facets. And it's really because many times, our own discrimination, which is directly due to the mind. Yeah? And how do we know this is true? We can verify ourselves. Sometimes we see something happen, we are okay. Sometimes we see something, the same thing happen, we're not okay. Right? So nothing to do with the eye consciousness. So if you try to deal with that person or your eye, not to dig out your eye, just don't look. So some people, they think that it's because I saw it, so so I act that I didn't see. In a way, it seems to solve the problem. But you are solving it in the wrong place. So this delineation helps us to pinpoint at the root where this problem is coming up. Because the eye is just a supporting condition for you to be aware of that situation. Then you add in your discrimination that is a certain way, then it gives rise to defilement. So from this simple example, we can see how knowing that the mind comprises different parts can help us to isolate and zoom in to deal with the root problem. But of course, this is just a start. How to deal that is another thing. Not easy. Still not easy, but at least you are hitting at the right place. Because, again, yes, the sixth consciousness. Because for some people, they don't have this awareness. So they just keep trying to change the world. Then there are those who become a bit more aware, but they still don't realize that it's actually just the mind. So they just avoid. Okay, I don't see. Not here. So they are dealing with it, but not in an effective way. Only when you observe and see that, it is this discriminating mind. That indeed, hopefully after this whole series, we will slowly see more and more how everything is really just concepts and words. Okay? So, with that in place, let's come back. So, we have covered the first chapter here. This is just to again establish for second category. Okay? Second, 与性相应. So first of all, the word 相应. There are two common translations that is used. The first one is connected. The second one is resonate. So let me explain. What is connected? Connected, I think, quite obvious. Let me explain the word first. Then I explain these terms. 与性相应. Connected means, are you linked? Simple enough. Are you linked? Resonate. Resonate is interesting. Resonate means that, like sometimes we say, I and him, in Singapore we don't say resonate. We say engam beingam. Is it the same frequency? He and me, they click. No, we don't click. Different frequency. Don't strike a chord. Or strike a chord. And actually, strike a chord, don't strike a chord is all about frequency. In Singapore, we use this term very frequently. But actually, it has scientific basis. So Singaporeans are very scientific. It has to do with this idea called resonance. Whether you resonate or not. Okay. Today I will refrain from just getting excited and explaining the whole resonant frequency. Okay. But just understand that it is about whether you connect Yeah, whether it's you click, yeah, is it the same frequency? Okay, yeah. What do we mean by that? For example, now I will read to you a series of I say something, and then you all see. Let me see whether you connect or not. 2288. Those of you laugh, you know what. Those who didn't laugh, you all didn't connect. Now I say a second word, okay? 2828. You all know? You all know? Okay, those who know. So, actually, it can mean many things. Yeah? But for those of you who laugh, how many of you were thinking about 4D? Yeah. So every week I will give some numbers, see what happens. Okay, so this is one example of that you resonate. You resonate. Okay, like for example, just now I mentioned the word resonate. Then some of you, yeah, because you have the idea of what resonate means. Then in this case, you are resonating with what I'm saying. If you don't understand, then you don't resonate. So connected, resonate, this is what it's talking about. So here, 与心相应. So this category of things called mental concomitants, they resonate with the heart. The first one is saying it depends on the heart to arise. The second one is saying it resonates with the heart. To be more specific, later we will look at how, depending on how the heart is, then the different types of mental concomitants will arise. Yeah, to resonate with it. Yeah, that means it will come together and then it one, link to each other. We'll take a look. We'll take a look. Yeah, here at this stage, it's just talking that it is linked. Okay, it's connected. Yeah, but resonate may not always be the good resonance. But it's just that it's linked. Or it is linked. Okay. For example, when I say 2288, yeah, you all resonate. But is it a good resonance or unwholesome resonance? Who knows? Who knows? Okay. Yes. So just now, I purposely choose 4 numbers. Yeah, and it was to elicit that response. It's 2288. So then, in this case, that's not resonate. But you resonate with the number, not with what I'm trying to say. So it's still a resonate, but different resonance, different frequency. Then there are those who don't have this idea. Yeah, if you don't have this idea, you look around in the world, you don't see 4D numbers. For those who are in the 4D, wow, you take cab, you take bus, public transport, wow, very stressed. Wow. You see all the car plate, right? I know. Yeah, I'm not like that, but I know. Okay? Yeah, so this is the meaning, okay? So here, there are many things in this world. Here, I want to highlight, there are many things in this world. Some things coexist with the heart. Some things resonate with the heart. But as long as there are some things that resonate with the heart, there are some things that don't resonate with the heart. Okay, so we'll explore that later. 心所恒与心王相应. Yeah, so perpetually connecting with the heart, yeah, resonating with the heart. 间接地说明了心所和心王的差别. Yeah, so indirectly it is establishing the difference between these two. Yeah, between the heart or the mind, if you will, and the mental concomitant. Yeah, that's the distinction. OK， 因为心王虽恒与5个片形心所相应，但心王和心王之间却互不相应，所以不能称为心所。So from here, okay, from here, 5个片形心所。So there are different categories of mental concomitant. Okay, later as we explore this whole chapter, we'll see a lot of different categories. Yeah, there are those that is wholesome, there are those that is unwholesome. 善心所、恶心所, yeah, and so on and so forth. A lot of different categories. Yeah, but within them, there are those that is always arising, yeah, or always in connection with the mind. Yeah, so they connect with this arising of the mind. They connect with the next arising of the mind also. This line, these few sentences that I just read, I'm just explaining them. So this series here is saying all mind, right? Because mental concomitant is still part of the mind. But the mental concomitant, they resonate with this first instance of the mind. This first instance die out, next instance arise. But these 5 categories of 片形心所, that means ubiquitous mental concomitants, always coming up. This resonate with the next state also. Next state also connected. Okay? But between the mind, first mind, second mind, third mind, fourth mind, they may not connect with each other. So in that way, each of these mind are called Xing Wang, like king. Whereas the rest, they connect with them. So these are like the subjects. Yeah, the mind is the object. Oh, understand? Can give example. For example, you all attend year 1 class. Yeah. So you attend year 1 class. You listen to the first Venerable teach. Is it the same Venerable for the whole year? Same, huh? First year, same, right? Second year, also a different one. Yeah. So okay, don't pick on the analogy. Not easy to come with an analogy. So when the first Venerable come out to teach, you all are listening to her. Yeah. Then second year, second Venerable come out to teach. You all listen to the second Venerable. But when the first Venerable come out to teach, second Venerable didn't come in to listen. When the second Venerable come out to teach, first Venerable also never come out to listen. And Venerable Chuan also never attend the first year to listen, never attend the second year to listen. Now third plus year, yeah, you all listen to Sifu to teach. And likewise, first Venerable, second Venerable don't come out to teach, to listen. Yeah, so we are lecturers. You all are students. So in this analogy, you all are the Xing Suo. We are the Xing Wang. Okay? Because I don't attend that class, so I'm not a student. If I attend that, I also become student. But because I only teach, the relationship is one directional. So in that way, your Xing Suo, this is Xing Wang. Okay? Yeah, so that's why I said you cannot pick because analogy. In the case of human being like me, instances of the mind. Each instances don't refer to each other. They are not connected to each other. Yeah. Okay. Because each state of the mind, only one state of the mind can arise, So only when the present mind has disappeared, then the next mind can appear, like you can only have one lecturer at a time. Of course, some again cannot pick, because sometimes we have panel, then in a way you cannot call that a Dharma talk. You call that a dialogue, yeah, or a seminar. So here we are not talking about seminar. So for a class, there's usually only one lecturer. Okay, yes. So no. In Buddhism, no. Only one at a time. Only one at a time. So this is related to how in modern times we like to say multitask. Multitasking. But in Buddhism we say actually no such thing as multitasking. Yeah, only multi-process. So the mind in... Okay, I must stop myself. I was just this close to getting excited and then explaining to you all about multi-processors computing and how... Okay, but let me stop. A bit more aware today. So, what really happens is we keep on switching. We switch from one task to another. We switch from one mental concomitant to another one. Yeah, we just keep switching. Switch. And on the surface, it appears like we are functioning multitasking. Yeah, we seem to be multitasking. But from a Buddhist perspective, if you were to observe your mind very carefully, intently, yeah, we are just giving time slices. Yeah, this is a computing term, but I will not go too deep into it. It's called time slices. Yeah, time slices. Yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, in recent times, neuroscientists and psychologists have started to observe that, yeah, whenever we multitask, there's actually a cognitive load. Yeah, cognitive load on us, meaning that when we switch tasks, okay, we do something, get interrupted, we go and do something else. Yeah, or we try to do a few things at the same time. Our mind actually undergoes a lot of burden, yeah, because it's trying to maintain the state of all these things, yeah, and so it has to switch in and out the context, yeah, and in many ways, interestingly, it parallels what we do in computing world, yeah. It's just that our CPU in the real computer has become so fast, we don't seem to feel like there's any lag, yeah. But in real computing world, there's a difference. Of course, today we have multiprocessor, but we are all single processor. Yes. What do you mean by common? For all of us to access? They are accessing the same store. Okay, so let me just answer it once and for all. Those of you who are interested in knowing where our memory lies, lend me dias. So as far as I can recall, we didn't go into the part about memory. Yeah? But as far as the principle of alaya is concerned, then memory must come from alaya consciousness also. Except that the way we recall currently is not a very specific, precise process. So we just remember as and when we can remember, based on what impression is the most prominent. It is like if you come into a room, yeah. If anyone come into the room, the first thing that they can recognize is Sifu is here, yeah. Then if your friend call you out, hey, I'm here. Then you very clearly know that friend is here also. Yeah, this is how I understand our memory and alaya consciousness now. Okay, as much as we can say that it is all linked to the alaya consciousness, the seeds. We don't have direct access to, because our mind is not sharp enough to go and say, okay, let me read from this spot. Yeah. So then which are the ones that call out to us? The one that we connect with. The one that we connect with most. If we are always connecting with unwholesome thoughts, then that seed is strongest. Yeah. Hello, I'm here. Oh yeah, good friend, our friend. If you... yeah, he's very spontaneous. Hard to find such a student. So when we repeatedly act in a certain way, when the seeds arise, it's still up to us to connect with it. So when we connect 1 time, 2 times, then that kind of seed, the quality, whether it's wholesome or unwholesome, whether it's connecting with kindness or cruelty, whether it's connecting with patience or impatience, whether it's connecting to this or that, the more you connect, then it becomes stronger and stronger. Yeah. Xunxi, yes. Xunxing, the perfuming process. Yeah. So in this way, then for us, think about it. The things that we are always associating with, sometimes in the middle of this, suddenly you think about it. Yeah. Of course, there are also sporadic events where suddenly you just think of someone out of the blue. So there may be other links. But for the most part, as far as memory is concerned, it's triggered by our habitual tendency, for the most part. Yes. Yeah. So we can also switch it around, but there's the first one. I happen to choose us as a Xingwang because there's one each time. Yeah. Yeah. So there's not different instances. Different instances refer to the different instances of Xingwang. Yeah. So her question is, why is it that in the analogy, the lecturer, the Venerable, in this case, is considered the Xingwang, and then you all are considered the Xingsuo? Yeah. Well, for one, if you look at the first one, Heng Yi Xing Qi. Yeah. If I don't conduct the class, you all don't appear. Yeah. Even if you don't appear, I'm still here. You don't appear in the Coming Sun unless there's a class. Yes. That is a very good question. So the mind is not a physical thing. So you cannot say that it is here or there. It's not a physical thing. So, but it's a good question because I'm sure many of us have asked the question with that kind of question. Yeah, I also asked this question before. Where's the mind? Yeah, where's the mind? Yes. Yeah, using our earlier example of browser and then or our handphone download. In a way, it is very similar to cloud computing in a sense. Yeah? Cloud storage. Yeah. Hard to pinpoint exactly where. Yes. 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 Yes and no. So why do I say yes? Why do I say no? On the surface, You can hear him clearly. Oh, you have very good vocal projection. So, his question is, he raised an example. When we watch a movie, we are hearing and watching at the same time. Yeah, very good point. The difference here is this. What is observed is, as I mentioned earlier, on the surface, it often seems like we can multitask. Yeah, can multitask doesn't mean that you are multitasking. First, if we can agree with this, okay. But the question is, we need to substantiate why this is the case. Yeah, because if you can multitask, if you can appear to be multitasking, then you should be multitasking, isn't it? Yeah. So basically, here we are saying, no, this is not true. There may be a case where a person can really, have multiple instances of the mind at the same time. Okay? There may be such a case. Just as Wilson asked, is there a case where maybe if the Buddha had dig one more eon, would that be a beginning? Yeah, but so far, in all the Buddhist texts, and the masters and the Buddha always mention one instance. So then how is it possible that we engage, or for that matter, don't have to talk about movie. Now as we are listening to my sharing, my explanation, you can also see me moving. So in Buddhism we say this. Actually, it's basically still time slices. Yeah, basically time slices. Time slices, and the mind just have some awareness for this, for that, for this, for that, and together it appears like it is us listening and hearing and seeing and smelling and all these things together. Yeah, it appears that way, but this part, we can ask the question, so how can we be so sure? One way to be sure is meditate. Yeah, you got it right this time. Yeah, is to meditate. Yeah, many years ago, I was told this. Yeah, if you meditate often enough, then eventually you start to see how each mental state arises dependent on the previous state. You start to observe the different arising. Yeah. Sometimes you may have glimpses of that also. Yeah. Other times we are just seeing things in a blur. Yeah. Just see it in a blur. Yeah. Only way is to go and meditate. Yeah. I've mentioned just recently about how there was once I was meditating with a student, and after that I was just very, very spontaneously observing. Just as I finished that thought, then the alarm went off, and we finished. And I quickly recollect my mind and I observe, okay, what was the reason why I thought about the blending? Yeah, I'll just give a brief, very quick one. So I was thinking about a time when I was in Beijing and how I was blending something, and then or juicing. Yeah, you know how the difference between blender and juicer? Blender, you just blend everything. Juicer, it extract the pulp. Yeah. So I was thinking with the pulp, we can actually take the pulp and then make some, veggie patty or something. Yeah. Then I was like, but how is it that I suddenly think about that? I didn't just suddenly think about that. Then I remember, I was thinking about this blender that I have. Yeah, this blender, which is basically just this tubular thing that one of my good friend bought for me. Yeah, and it doesn't juice, it blends. Then I was like, why did this thought arise in me during meditation? It was because I was thinking about getting a small water kettle, electric kettle. And why is it linked? Because in my room they are very close by. In my room. And I was like, but why did I think about that? It's because I was thinking that our pantry in the office, the heater itself is not hot enough. So I thought about using that. I was like, but why was I thinking about that? It was because I was, at that point in time, the friend wanted to make the instant noodle. After that. Then I was like, okay, that was, if I go further, I probably can still, but then I just, okay, that was a very quick, just as I finished, then I just did this mental exercise. This form of the mental object tracing is one of the exercise, but not at the initial start, because initial stage, the moment you try to trace, you are all swimming in the story and then you're spinning more stories than you are observing the track. So, but this is still not this, not quite, because. But then with what I just mentioned, then that becomes a basis for us to observe this. Has to be developed further, quite a bit. But if for most people, we usually cannot see the train of thoughts. We usually get interrupted very quickly. Then we spin here and there, jump here and there, but we cannot remember. And that's why in the world of mindfulness meditation, there's a lot of masters in recent 1-2 years who keep on highlighting mindfulness meditation is not just about being aware in the present. There's a lot of different aspects of sati. One of them is recollection, to be able to remember, to know. So is it this way, or is it the multitasking? So as far as the teaching is concerned, is this way, and as far as my observation so far, it is closer to this way than that way. But for Buddhism, we say, you all go and observe. Wait, hang on. You wanted to say something just now? Then after that, him. So her question is it because when we meditate, then our mind slow down? Our breath slow down, then our mind slow down? I would say it's perhaps more the reverse. But not exactly that the mind slow down. The rate of the mind running around slow down. But I would say that the mind becomes sharper. We don't spend so much of our cycle, running all over. So we spend more and more of the cycle. So imagine this, when we observe the breath initially, first year meditating, we observe the breath here. Breathing in. My leg is so painful. When is this going to end? Then, breathing. How come still breathing in? Actually, there's a lot of in out here already. Then after that, and so on. Then suddenly a lot of stories. Then, tiang, finish already. So our what happened in between? We are caught with a lot of things. So as we meditate more, then breathing in, breathing out. We start to see it closer. Then breathing in, there's a thought that arises. There's a thought. And the second thought is, The second, after that is, there's a thought that arises. This is the thought, and then this is the, there's a thought that arises. Okay? So this is number one, this is the thought. Then number two, there's a thought that arises. Last time, breathing in, breathing out. Then there's a thought that arises here. Then over here, I think there was a thought just now. Then as we become closer and closer, lesser of our thoughts run away. Then we start to observe very closely. Yeah, yeah. So you need to do your exercise to observe this. No other way. But so far, this is what we all observe. As you become clearer and clearer. But I will tell you, not difficult to reach close to this. Difficult to maintain it. Okay. Wei Yan, you have a question? Vibhanga. Bhavanga. What is Bhavanga? No what? Huh? Sorry? Huh? Dreamless state. So in the various schools, Yogacara admittedly developed much later. So for some of the terms that we specifically give it a term, like alaya and so on, in the earlier school, they may not use the same term. Yeah, and they may even just call it, for example, I recall my senior monk telling me, he said, in one of the school, they refused to say that there's alaya. Then what is the answer? They said, then when the Yogacara master asked, then what is the basis for this subtle form? Then he said, well, it's a subtle consciousness. So some of these terms can refer to the same thing, but have different names. Yeah. For Bhavang, for this or for what you're talking about? For this thing here, what I'm talking about here? Let me check for you. Yeah. This aspect is this. The time slices. Huh? Come again? Yeah, I'm just drawing this to illustrate how our different states of mind arises. Okay, but we often don't observe. We are not so aware. Yeah, we just cruise along very, very rapidly and get washed away by this torrent of thoughts. Yeah, but as we meditate, our awareness becomes sharper and sharper. Yeah, and we don't spend so many cycles of our mind on all these thoughts. So, in a way, you can also say that the reason why most masters seem to have better memory is because we don't spend so much of our cycle on spurious thoughts, Yeah, so we only have a few things in our mind. So, of course, can remember them. Last question. When you have what? You have what? Just repeat your statement. Experience. Say the C. Experience. Yes. Why don't you say the C? Experience. Yeah. No, I want to encourage Buddhists to speak properly. Experience. Yes. What's the question? I said that many people would attribute it to other people. It is the second level of awareness where you say, okay, maybe it's because I see it. So some people, when they have this awareness, then their approach is, okay, then I just don't see. is it possible that you see it but you don't know? If you see it but you don't know, then it will not affect you also, ma. So then there's no problem. But in Buddhism, we say ultimately is to resolve what is inside us. Then even when you see it again, you don't have the problem anymore. Okay, come, let's put our palms together. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。起立。诸位至诚，礼佛行三问讯礼，一问讯，再问讯，三问讯。Till meet again, may we be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And not that I speak well, I just want all of us, not just all of us to speak more properly. 阿弥陀佛。Yeah. 乖乖学佛。